Welcome to the journey where you not only learn English, but also transform your life. I'm not just here to help you master a language. I'm here to help you become unstoppable in life. No matter where you are, no matter how much pain you're in, you can rise, grow stronger, and succeed. It all begins with mastering your mindset. Let me tell you a story, one that might sound familiar. Amit, 27, from India, had a dream to become a software developer at a global tech company. He had the skills, he had the passion, but one thing stood in his way: English. He walked into the interview full of hope and walked out defeated. Not because he couldn't code, but because he couldn't express himself clearly in English. That moment hit hard, but instead of giving up, Amit made a decision that changed everything. He told himself, if English is the wall between me and my future, I'll break through it. From that day on, he didn't just study English, he lived it, practicing every day, stumbling, rising, growing. No expensive classes, no moving abroad, just discipline, clarity, and a belief. Good English isn't only for smart people, it's for anyone who keeps trying. And you know what? In just 3 months, Amit walked back into another interview room, this time with confidence, fluency, and a smile that said, I belong here. Let me ask you this. How many dreams have we left behind just because of language? What could happen if we stopped waiting and started doing today? Stick around, because in this video, I'll walk you through the exact 6-stage journey that helped Amit and how it can help you too, no matter where you're starting from. Don't click away. The next part might be the push you've been waiting for. Stage 1, days 1 to 15. Building a real foundation. Let's talk about where it all begins. Stage 1, the first 15 days. And trust me, this part is crucial. It's where most people either build momentum or burn out. Now here's the thing. When Amit started his journey, he didn't rush into memorizing long vocabulary lists or perfecting grammar. That's the mistake most people make. They overwhelm themselves before their brain is even ready to absorb the language. Amit did the opposite. He focused on just one mission: train his brain to react to English naturally and instantly. So, how did he do that? He picked 50 essential life-saving English sentences, the kind that come up all the time in real conversations. Simple ones like, how are you? Can you repeat that? I don't understand. I need help. Phrases that real people use in real life. Then every single day for 15 days, he read those 50 sentences out loud, 10 times each. No grammar rules, no new vocabulary, just repetition, out loud, with focus. But he didn't stop there. Amit began talking to himself all the time, while showering, while cooking, while walking to work. He turned his everyday life into a living classroom. And here's the real game changer. He started training his mind to think in English. That means no more translating from his native language. If he saw coffee, he thought coffee, not the word in Hindi. If he dropped his keys, he'd say out loud, where are my keys? It became second nature. After just 15 days, something amazing happened. Amit could respond to basic questions in English without translating in his head. And let me ask you this. What if learning English isn't about being smart, but about being consistent in the right way? What if all it takes is 15 days to break through that first wall? You see, this stage isn't about perfection. It's about building reflexes, so your brain stops panicking every time someone speaks English to you. It's not magic. It's muscle memory, built one sentence, one repetition, one moment at a time. And here's the best part. Anyone can do this. You don't need talent. You need a method and the courage to stick to it. So if you're still with me, don't miss what's coming next, because stage 2 is where we turn those basic sentences into real conversations with confidence. Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below if you've ever tried to speak English in your head, and keep watching. You're closer than you think. Stage 2, days 16 to 30, thinking in English. Here's where the real shift begins. And in many ways, this is the phase that separates passive learners from fluent speakers, because this is where Amit stopped translating and started to thinking directly in English. Let's be honest, most people don't struggle with vocabulary. They struggle because their brain keeps running everything through their native language filter, word by word, sentence by sentence, and that takes time, energy, and kills confidence. So Amit made a change. Every day, he picked just 5 real-life sentences, pulled straight from movies, podcasts, or shows in English. Not textbook grammar, not robotic phrases, real human English. He would listen to each sentence, then repeat it 10 times. Not just the words, but the emotion, the rhythm, the natural tone. He wasn't just learning what to say. He was learning how to sound like someone who actually lives the language. And here's the powerful part. He started using a simple but transformative technique, Q and A. He'd ask himself questions out loud and answer them in English. At first, it was basic. What did I eat for breakfast? I had eggs and toast. But then it got deeper. What do I want from my future? I want to grow, to succeed, to speak English confidently in every room I walk into. That shift from memorizing to expressing changed everything. Ami also trained himself to describe the world around him in real time. The sky is blue. I see people walking. The coffee smells strong. At first it felt weird, but soon it became second nature, like a new language layer forming in his brain. By day 30, something powerful happened. He was forming longer sentences. He spoke with flow. And for the first time, he didn't need to think in his native language at all. Let me ask you, what would change in your life if English didn't feel like a second language anymore, but just your voice? That's what stage 2 unlocks. Not just speech, but thought, identity, confidence. So don't miss what's coming next, because stage 3, that's when you stop being a student and start becoming a communicator. Hit that like button. Leave a comment below. Have you ever tried speaking your thoughts in English? What happened? And if you're ready for the next step, stick with me. Things are about to get a whole lot more real. Stage 3, days 31 to 45, mastering pronunciation and listening. By day 30, Amit was thinking in English. He was speaking more fluently, forming full sentences, and most importantly, not translating in his head anymore. But now, it was time for the next big step. Sounding natural, not just speaking English, but sounding like someone who owns the language. This is stage 3, pronunciation and listening. And for many learners, it's the make or break phase. Because here's the truth, you could know all the words, have great grammar, even speak confidently. But if people constantly ask you to repeat yourself, it chips away at your confidence. It makes conversations harder. And over time, you stop speaking as much. Amit didn't want that, so he focused completely on one goal: speak clearly and listen like a native. And he didn't use expensive tools or go abroad. He used something called the echo method. Simple but powerful. Here's how it works. Listen to a native speaker say a sentence, pause, then repeat it back. Exactly the same. Same tone, same rhythm, same emotion, word for word, sound for sound. He did this every day with YouTube videos, podcasts, and movies. Then he took it up a notch, watching movies with subtitles. But not just passively. He would pause every sentence, repeat it out loud, and mimic the actor's voice like he was training for a role. At first, it felt awkward, but after a few days, he noticed something. The foreign sound of English started to fade. His ears adjusted. His tongue moved more naturally. He was no longer trying to sound native. He was just speaking. He practiced 30 minutes a day, not just saying words, but shaping sounds. By day 45, something incredible happened. People started noticing. Native speakers would say things like, "Wow, you sound really natural. You've got a great accent. Where did you learn?" And no, he didn't live in the US. He didn't have a personal tutor. He just listened deeply and copied precisely. Let me ask you, how often do we actually train our ears? The way we train our muscles or our minds? Most people listen to learn, but fluent speakers, they listen to imitate. So if you've ever felt nervous about how you sound or wondered why people don't understand you, this is your moment. Because stage 3 is the bridge between understanding English and sounding like you belong to it. Up next in stage 4, we're going to take everything you've learned and apply it in real conversations. Stick around, it only gets better from here. Like this video if it's helping you, and comment below. What's one English phrase you wish you could pronounce like a native? Let's grow together. You're doing better than you think. Stage 4, days 46 to 60, expanding vocabulary the smart way. At this point in his journey, Amit had come a long way. He could think in English, he could speak with flow, and native speakers were starting to compliment his pronunciation. But there was one thing still holding him back: vocabulary. Not the amount of words, but how he was learning them. You see, most learners make the same mistake. They try to memorize long vocabulary lists, word after word after word, no context, no story, just repetition. And then they forget it all the next week. Amit knew he needed a smarter approach, so in stage 4, he switched his strategy completely. Instead of learning more words, he focused on learning them better. Every day, he picked just 5 new words. But here's the key. He didn't just read them, he used them. He would create a short story, one that included all 5 words. It didn't have to be perfect. It didn't even have to be real. It just had to connect the words in a meaningful way. Let's say the 5 words were challenge, journey, excited, fail, breakthrough. His story might go like this. My English journey was a challenge. I was excited, but I failed many times before I finally had a breakthrough. Simple? Yes, but powerful, because now those 5 words had emotion, context, Sarah, and a personal connection. Then he'd read that story out loud 10 times. He didn't just read it, he felt it. And every time he repeated it, the words sank deeper into his memory. But he didn't stop there. At night, before bed, Amit wrote a short journal entry in English. Nothing fancy, just a few sentences about his day, what he learned, what challenged him, what made him smile. It became a habit. And over time, those daily journal entries became a goldmine of new words and natural expressions. By day 60, something incredible happened. Amit was using new vocabulary without effort. He didn't have to pause, translate, or think twice. The words were just there, ready when he needed them. And that's the secret. Vocabulary doesn't come from memory. It comes from meaning. When you feel the words, when you see them in your own life, that's when they stick. So let me ask you this. What's the last new word you learned and actually used in real life? Stage 4 is about connecting language with life, because when words have purpose, they become permanent. Stick around, because in stage 5, we take everything you've learned and bring it into real conversations with real people. If this video is helping you, hit like and drop a comment. What's your favorite English word and why? You're not just learning English anymore, you're living it. Stage 5, days 61 to 75, mastering grammar and real-life communication. By the time Amit reached day 60, he was already communicating with ease, thinking in English, using new vocabulary, and speaking with natural pronunciation. But here's the thing. Fluency isn't just about sounding good. It's also about being clear, being accurate, and being understood. That's what stage 5 is all about. Improving grammar, not by memorizing rules, but by noticing patterns in real life. And that's a mindset shift. Most of us grew up thinking grammar is about boring textbooks, confusing tenses, and endless exceptions. But Amit realized something powerful. Grammar isn't something you study. It's something you absorb through the way people actually speak. So every time he heard a sentence that felt a little different, something that didn't match what he learned in school, he paused and wrote it down. For example, someone said, "I've been learning English for 6 months." That made him stop. He was used to saying, "I am learning English." But now he wanted to know, what's the difference? Why have been learning and not am learning? And so began his journey of noticing. Instead of focusing on abstract grammar rules, he studied real pattern in everyday speech from movies, podcasts, interviews, and even casual conversations. He also started paying attention to tricky little details like prepositions. Why do we say "I'm on the bus" but drinks of the car? Why is it "net race the night," not "nes the night"? These tiny words don't seem important until you get them wrong. That's why Amit created a notebook just for phrases and patterns, not full lessons, just short, sharp insights. And every day, he'd take 20 minutes to practice them using the shadowing method. He'd listen to a native speaker, then repeat the sentence immediately, matching the pronunciation, rhythm, and structure exactly, not once, but over and over, until the structure became part of him. By day 75, something had clicked. Amit wasn't just speaking English, he was communicating with clarity. His grammar wasn't stiff or robotic, it was natural, correct, effortless. And that's the goal, to speak English accurately, but in a way that doesn't feel like a grammar test. Let me ask you something. How many times have you held back in a conversation because you weren't sure if your sentence was right? What if you could train yourself to feel grammar instead of overthinking it? That's what Stage 5 delivers, the confidence to speak without second-guessing yourself. In Stage 6, we take all of this, fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and bring it into real, live conversation practice that prepares you for the real world. So don't go anywhere. The final piece of the puzzle is coming up, and it's where everything comes together. If this video is helping you, drop a comment below. What's one grammar rule that always confused you? Let's tackle it together. Stage 6, days 76 to 90, confidence in real conversations. This is it. Stage 6. The final step in Amit's 90-day journey, and maybe the most important one of all, because now it wasn't just about what he could say. It was about having the confidence to say it. You see, by this point, Amit had built everything. He could think in English. His pronunciation was sharp. His grammar was clean. His vocabulary was natural. But there was still one quiet voice in the back of his head. What if I say something wrong? What if they laugh? What if I freeze up? And that fear, it's real, not just for English learners, but for anyone trying to speak up in a new space. But here's what changed everything for Amit. He stopped waiting to be perfect and started showing up anyway. He began with 10 simple conversation topics, things you'd hear in everyday life. What do you do for a living? What's your favorite food? What's a day in your life like? He practiced answering those questions out loud, again and again, until the words felt like his own. Then he went one step further, joining online speaking groups, language exchanges, and communities where he could actually use what he learned, not just with teachers, but with real people, strangers, friends, and yes, even native speakers. And here's what blew him away. They weren't judging him. They weren't waiting for him to make a mistake. Most of them were cheering him on, grateful for his effort and impressed by his progress. That one shift, from fear to experience, transformed his relationship with English. Instead of avoiding conversations, he started seeking them out. He talked to baristas, Uber drivers, people at the gym, anyone who'd listen. He wasn't just practicing English anymore. He was living in it. By day 90, Amit was no longer afraid to speak. In fact, he could hold deep conversations, express opinions, and even go through a full job interview, all in English. And the best part? He didn't just speak better. He felt better. More confident, more capable, more connected to the world. Let me ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped being afraid of making mistakes and started using every conversation as a chance to grow? That's what Stage 6 is all about, letting go of fear and stepping fully into your voice. If this video inspired you, hit that like button. Drop a comment. What's the one conversation topic you want to feel confident discussing in English? And don't go anywhere, because next I'm going to show you how to maintain everything you've built and turn it into a lifelong skill that never fades. You've come this far. Let's finish strong together. Final thoughts. And this is the part most people forget. After all the progress you've made, all the speaking, listening, writing, and confidence you've built, the next big challenge isn't learning more. It's holding on to what you've built. Because the truth is, fluency isn't a destination. It's a lifestyle. It's not something you learn once and then forget. It's something that grows with you through conversations, habits, and real-life experiences. And to make sure you don't lose the momentum you've gained, focus on these 3 things. Build a weekly routine that's flexible but effective. Keep improving without burning out. Stay motivated, even on the days when you feel stuck. And don't forget, I've prepared a free mini ebook just for you. Grab it from the link in the description below. It'll help you solidify what you've learned and apply it practically every day. This is how you make your English an unstoppable. Not just for a job interview or a trip abroad, but for life. Now you've seen what's possible after 90 days and 6 stages, a clear step-by-step roadmap. And here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You don't even need to be good at languages. You just need a plan and the courage to take the first step. So if this video inspired you, hit that like button. It tells YouTube this video matters and helps more learners like you discover it. Leave a comment. What stage are you currently in? Or what's the biggest thing holding you back right now? And most importantly, subscribe to stay updated with all the latest videos, especially if you're ready to take your learning seriously, because this is just the beginning. Keep learning, keep speaking, and never stop believing that your voice matters. You've got this.